Evening.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you find yourself comfortable position. So today it will be a full moon meditation, and today is International Day of Peace, 2021. So the schedule of today is at 7 p.m. Our teaching monk will be on the stage, and we will say greeting to our teaching monk. And at 20 past, lovely Wendy, will help everyone to do a bit of exercise before we kind of sit down and everything. And at 8, no, actually.
8 o'clock, wisdom talk.
Yeah, okay. 8 o'clock will be a wisdom talk, and at 7:30 will be guided meditation, and then 10 to 8, will be lighting candle, which is in front of us. If anyone would like to join to, lighting in the middle of like we do meditation. While we do meditation, I'll give everyone a signal once again. And then we go back and do meditation some more. And then at 8 p.m., we do, our teaching monk will do a bit wisdom talk. And then at 20 past 8, we will do a bit of reflection on the topic of today. And then some Q&A if anyone have any questions to ask. And then at 8:30, we will be finishing our meditation today. So, thank you.
Wendy, if you'd like to stand up and I can introduce you. I think we're going to do the exercise first, are we? This is Wendy, and she's going to do some very gentle exercises with all of us just to get us in the mood for the evening. I think so, yeah.
Thank you very much, Wendy. That's wonderful. Satu ka. So, that's okay. So, if anyone would like to pay respect to the Lord Buddha by bowing 3 times, bow, bow, bow. And if anyone would like to pay respect to our teaching monk by bowing 3 times, bow, bow, bow. And today our teaching monk is Prajan Nicholas Tanisaro.
Who needs no further introduction. Okay, good evening everyone. I'm Prajan Nicholas Tanisaro, coming to you today from London, UK, or Woking. I'm telling the people who are joining us via Zoom, because they may be confused otherwise. But today is not just our normal Tuesday meditation class, it's also what's known as a European full moon meditation. And we are being joined by our members on a Zoom channel for this temple, but also from those all around Europe. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much, Natalie, for the introduction, and also Wendy for the soothing exercise session. Normally we don't do exercises here, so I hope that this went down well. So now that everyone is feeling slightly more relaxed and comfortable, it should be perfect for the practice of meditation. Better? No? And what I'm going to do today is lead you through a session of meditation which will last about 40 minutes. And afterwards there's a little bit of a wisdom talk on aspects of the special features of today. So for those who are maybe new to meditation, I would like to say that meditation is any sort of method which you can use to work with a part of ourselves that is often neglected, which you might call your attention or your awareness, something that often gets caught up in the things around us to the extent that we are robbed of our own sense of balance in life. We occupy ourselves with everything else around us sometimes to the extent that we have no awareness or consciousness left of our own inner states of being. Especially the way the world is designed this day, when we are afraid to miss a beat in life, then sometimes we are so taken up with the things around us that we're left feeling quite hollow within ourselves. And often it's the case that we know more about the things around us than we know about ourselves, which can lead to a sense of sometimes meaninglessness in life, or a sense of angst, or even a loss of hope in life. So meditation is a method by which you can take this awareness or this attention which is stuck on all the things around you, gather it back up and bring it back within the space of your own body. Because if it's within the body, then it's possible to work with the mind in a way which is much more constructive. And to this extent, there's a special place inside ourselves, down here at the level of the solar plexus, where if we can gather up our mind and bring it to this point and keep it there, then immediately the mind will become a lot more calm and a lot more manageable. The number of thoughts in the mind will start to get less by itself. So there are many different ways of meditating, but generally they use something which will capture the mind and bring it back within the space of the body. One method you may have heard of is breathing meditation, where you would focus on your breath as it goes in and out of your body. And already you have a way to keep your awareness within the space of your body, even though it may be a moving target, but because the breath goes in and out within the body, then you have your awareness within yourself instead of stuck on the things around you. But working with a moving target is not always as simple as you might expect. So generally in our meditation method, we work with something which is a little bit more stationary and fixed. And a good way to do that, especially if you're starting out in meditation, is to conjure up some sort of picture in your mind. So if you were to think, for example, of a picture of the sun shining, can you manage that? Or the moon shining, seeing as we're here for our full moon meditation. And that picture, assuming you're not looking out of the window at this moment, is actually created by your mind. And the ability to do this tells us two important things about our mind. Firstly, where is our attention located? And the answer to that question is, it's wherever the picture appears. Because wherever the picture is, that is where your mind is. The moment your mind wanders off onto anything else, then the picture will disappear. Second important thing it tells you is just how good is your concentration at that moment. Because if you're distracted, then the picture disappears. So what you are working with a picture, it is a very immediate feedback about the quality of your mind and the location. And what we try to do with our meditation practice is to bring the picture down to this point at the solar plexus and maintain it there. For as long as the picture is there, then the mind will be connected at this point of balance inside of ourselves. And the quality of the mind will become more relaxed, more in balance, and more integrated with the source of wisdom within ourselves to start to redress some of the feeling of hollowness which we have inside of ourselves, in a way that we can regain that sense of meaning and purpose and hope in our lives. But we don't just jump straight in and think of a picture, because sometimes we can think in a much too strenuous way. And it's important that we set the scene, first of all, with some sort of relaxation. And in this respect, generally any meditation starts with 5 minutes making sure our body is relaxed, and I think we probably are a good way along that path after our exercises. After that, we spend a second 5 minutes clearing our mind as much as possible of any worries or concerns, and putting ourselves in a positive frame of mind as much as possible. Only after that do we work with our imaginary picture, and it can be a feeling instead of a picture. Some people feel that they have an object there rather than seeing it. That also works perfectly well. And for those special people who have a lot of thoughts on their mind, maybe too many thoughts to just ignore, then you may find that the use of a mantra may be helpful for you as well, to basically block the random thoughts in your mind in a way that the mind can come to a state of silence more quickly. Because as we shall hear this evening, if the thoughts in the mind come to a stop or a standstill, then it will lead the mind deeper. So meditation is not about thinking, it's about what happens when we stop thinking. But to get ourselves to stop thinking, well, that is really where we have to put the work in with the meditation, to start to work with the gaps between the thoughts. So far so good? Today we have a special emphasis on something called loving kindness meditation, and I just give a little bit of extra explanation for that. Once we build up something at the center of our body, it may be a feeling of well-being, it may be a sense of brightness, it may even be an inner picture of some sort, maybe even one that was different from the one you started with. with our meditation, we can share the positive vibes or the positive energy arising from meditation by allowing it to spread outwards from our center. And this practice is known as loving kindness meditation. And the meditation I'll lead you through today, it will explain how to do meditation on loving kindness in 2 different ways. The first way we will do it will be starting with people we are, let's say we have a good relationship with, so the easy people to think about in a loving way. And we will work to neutral people and then to more difficult people. Second way to practice loving kindness is geographically, where we just spread the sort of net or the extent of our loving kindness further and further outwards from ourselves. So we'll try both today, and we'll see which one you prefer. And today, as a special feature, for those of you who are maybe more used to our Tuesday night format that we usually have, halfway through our meditation, we're going to light the candles as part of our full moon meditation event. So it may be that you're deep in your meditation and you don't want to get up and do that, or you might have difficulty getting up out of your chair anyway, in which case you don't need to bother. But anyone who wants to help with lighting the candles and feel that that is a good way to get that brightness inside themselves to then take back into their meditation practice, then at the appropriate time, which I will indicate, you can join us to help with the lighting of the special design that we have today made up out of candles. So far so good? So we'll sit for some meditation now, if you'd like to make yourself comfortable. Go back to that slide. So we start by sitting up straight. Whether we're sitting on a meditation mat or on a chair, we try to have our back elongated. We relax and close our eyes, allowing the whole of our body to relax, beginning with the muscles of our face, then our shoulders, our arms, down to the tips of our fingers. We relax our torso, both legs, all the way down to the tips of our toes. Allowing the whole of our body to rest more and more. And at this point, you can imagine yourself sitting quietly, all alone, relaxing yourself. You allow the whole body to come to a state of rest. And you also allow the mind to be free, allowing the mind to dance its own dance without constraining it. So we don't attempt to apply any force. If the mind needs to think, allow it to think. If it needs to daydream, then allow it to daydream. Whatever the mind needs to feel, we allow it to do so. Just be as aware of what is happening as if you're watching clouds passing through the sky. And by doing so, the conscious and unconscious parts of the mind are drawn closer together, which is the goal that we hope to experience. So we quietly observe the dance of the consciousness. And we will find that this simple technique allows us to let go of any energy, frustration, worry, or anxiety that we were experiencing previously. And when we feel relaxed and refreshed, both in body and in mind, very gently and using no effort at all, you can imagine that inside your body is just an empty space or a hollow cavity with no organs or tissues, muscles or bones. As if your whole body has been transformed into a sort of transparent bubble with nothing on the inside. And within this empty space of your body and mind, you can call to mind a picture of something like a bright, shining sun, or alternatively, a full moon, a star, or perhaps a sparkling diamond, about the size of a small and shining pearl. But this time we are relocating that imaginary object to bring it within the space of our own body. We don't worry too much if the actual picture is not very clear. Even if it's vague, we accept it anyway. And bear in mind that for about half the people who meditate, it's going to be more of a feeling than a picture. But whatever the case, whether it is an object we can see or an object we can feel, feeling it by its warmth or shape or texture, we allow that object to float slowly downwards within the space of our body, almost as if we were slowly breathing the object down to the deepest point of our breath, or as if we were gently swallowing the object down within ourselves to reach the deepest point of our stomach. And once it reaches that point, or a point that feels comfortable for us, down inside ourselves, we gently maintain that inner object at the center of ourselves as continuously as we can, for as long as we can, not letting our attention slip away anywhere else if we can help it. If we find our attention wandering away, then it's not the end of the world. We simply bring our attention back to that inner object again. If the inner object disappears, then we just think of a new one. And once the imaginary object has entered the center of the body, it remains at that point within you. We imagine that it's beginning to shine more and more, or that the feeling of well-being inside us spreads outwards more and more. We allow the whole body to shine forth with the light of peace, happiness, beauty, and joy. We allow the whole body to glow brighter and brighter with the light. And today, as we meditate, we will try out 2 ways we can spread this light of loving kindness. One way is to spread the loving kindness, starting with easy people and moving on to more difficult ones. The second way to spread loving kindness is to spread the light of loving kindness in ever widening circles, geographically, without thinking of specific people. So today we'll compare which of the 2 methods suits us the best. So if you'd like to try the first way of spreading loving kindness, we should begin, as is traditional, with loving kindness, by spreading that loving kindness to ourselves first of all. So we imagine ourselves with that pure, loving energy at the center of our body. Even if it doesn't take a specific form, you might imagine it as a warm or glowing light or energy that is at your center. And the idea is just to spread a sense of love from your center to your whole body. Just imagine a real sense of love and kindness radiating out from the center and infusing your body with a sense of being loved, being looked after, being soothed and comforted. So just take a moment and really bask in that loving energy and let it open you up in a deep way. Allow yourself to let go into that loving feeling and offer the affirmation to yourself, may I be well and happy, may I be free of suffering. Imagine your body being infused by this warm, caring, glowing energy. And just get a sense of what it feels like to accept your own loving kindness. Notice any thoughts that might get in the way of that, or if you find that difficult, or if you feel yourself objecting to being loved. Just see if you can let go of those thoughts, and just see what it might be like to allow yourself to feel that love. And stay with that feeling for a moment. And now you can move on to think of someone who's very special to you, a dear friend or a family member. Just bring to mind someone like that who's important to you and special in your life. And picture them in miniature at the center of your body. And use your awareness to connect deeply at that person's center, the center of this person who's so dear to you. And recognize that just like you, this person has hopes and fears. This person has joys and sorrows. Just like you, this person feels sad sometimes, gets lonely sometimes. This person's just like you in that they really want to be loved and accepted. They want to be happy and safe. So see if you can connect in some way with that sense of being the same on a deeply human level. That we all suffer, we all want to be loved. So just imagine being able to send some loving energy to that person. So from your center, send forth some loving, warm energy to that person. Perhaps you can offer some loving phrases. May you be happy, may you be safe. May you feel deeply loved and connected. And imagine emanating that warm, loving energy from your center. Perhaps imagine a golden, warm light flowing out from your center and connecting with that person's center as you send them your loving kindness. And now just really think about how you'd like to engage with that person in real life. What kind of qualities would you want to bring into your friendship with that person? How can you demonstrate your sense of loving kindness to this person in real and concrete ways? Through what you say to them, or how you listen to them, or how you behave when you're in their presence. And just get a sense of what that might look like. And now I'd like you to bring to mind a purely neutral person, perhaps a vague acquaintance, perhaps someone you see quite regularly, such as a person at the checkout in your supermarket, or someone who lives on the same street that you see occasionally but don't really know, or just complete strangers, those faces in the crowd. So bring the miniature image of someone like this to your center. And now consider that even though you know nothing about this person, and in many ways they might not seem that important to you, but think about the fact that just like you, this person too has hopes and fears. This person has joys and sorrows. This person gets sad sometimes, feels lonely sometimes. This person, just like you, wants to feel that they're loved and accepted, and they want to feel happy and safe. So again, just to know that in some deeply fundamental way, you're the same as this person. You share this common humanity with all its joys and sorrows. So see what it may feel like to send some loving kindness to this person too. Imagine that you can send your sense of goodwill and warmth and kindness to these people that we usually ignore or are completely indifferent to. So imagine again emanating warm, loving energy from our center to these people. Imagine that a warm, golden light flows out from our center, surrounding and engulfing this neutral person with a real sense of warmth and love. And now just consider how you might want to engage with this person in your daily life, whether that's just exchanging brief eye contact, or connecting with a smile, or perhaps just sending a sense of goodwill and kindness to them in your thoughts. Or perhaps you want to pay a little bit more attention next time you're in the checkout. Just think of some way that you can maintain some kind of connection with this real person, this real human being at your center. To engage in a brief, kindly exchange. Just get a sense of what that might be like. And now bring to mind someone who might be quite difficult for you. To start with, perhaps it's best to start with someone who's just slightly difficult. But as you repeat this exercise, you can gradually work up to spreading loving kindness to people who are really quite difficult and might otherwise bring up painful emotions for you. But for now, just start with someone who's difficult in some way. The sense of discomfort there, perhaps concerning something they have done or said that's caused hurt in you. As you think about this person, consider that just like you, they too sometimes struggle with feelings of hurt, or anger, or disappointment. Perhaps the fact that you find them difficult is explained by the fact that they have had problems and difficulties in their life too. It has somehow caused them to behave in an unhelpful way. Everyone can recall ways that we ourselves have been caught up by a difficult emotion and then said or acted in an unskillful way. And equally, that could have been painful for someone else. So this difficult person is just like you. They too have their hopes and fears. They too feel sad and lonely sometimes. And just like you, they struggle with difficult emotions. This person's just like you in that they want to feel that they are loved and accepted. They want to be happy, even if they may pursue that in unskillful ways. It's an emotion we all share, just to feel safe and happy. Just experiment with allowing some of that love to be directed towards this difficult person too. To see if you'd be sufficiently courageous and willing to get past some of your hurt and spread some warmth and loving kindness toward this person. Now just think about how you would like to engage with this person. How you'd like to interact with this person if you decide you want to interact with this person. If you make the decision that it is important for you to interact with them, how would you want that to look? How would you want to offer something to this person or bring something to this relationship? Think of concrete ways that you might be able to demonstrate your willingness to engage, or your goodwill towards this person, despite the things that might have happened between you. You might decide that you don't want to interact with the person, and that's okay. The question is, if it's important for you to initiate a truce of some sort, how might you go about doing that? So now, just to get a sense of seeing all of these different sorts of people appearing at your center, your friends and loved ones, the neutral people that we don't really feel strongly for or against, and those difficult people too. We imagine them all gathered there at our center. We imagine being able to offer them all a sense of love and kindness, and to ourselves as well. And we spread forth that golden, warm energy, offering it to all these people. And as we continue to practice this exercise, we can work on expanding outwards with our goodwill and warmth and kindness and love to wider and wider circles of people. So for now, for a few more moments, we continue to focus the mind gently at the center of our body, immersed in that loving kindness, until we come to the time for our candle lighting ceremony. we continue to keep our mind on track at the center of the body as continuously as we can, or as long as we can, not letting our awareness slip away anywhere else if we can help it. And more we start to notice that our mind and that sense of peace energy within ourselves become one and the same. In the meantime, we continue to maintain our awareness of the center. We continue to remain in that ocean of peace energy. And at this time, we slowly open our eyes and take note of the candle lanterns. As little by little, we start to illuminate the world by illuminating those little candles that we have prepared, feeling that the candlelight radiating its warmth and brightness not only on the outside but within ourselves as well, as the candle symbolizes our inner light, our inner peace energy, and our positive intention.
If anyone would like to come up to light the candle, there's a lighter here.
Those of you who like to help with the lighting of the candles, you can do so at this time. For others who prefer to observe the inner light of the meditation, you can follow that path as well. One way or another, we will work towards a brighter world, both on the inside and the outside.
นังปริหารันตุอัมหากังอารักขาเทวตาอิมัสสมิงวิหาเรอิมัสสมิงภวาเสอิมัสสมิงหราเมอารักขาเทวตาอเวราโหตุอภัยปัจจาโหตุอานิฆาโหตุสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุสัพเพสัตตาสัพเพปานาสัพเพภูตาสัพเพบุคลาสัพเพอัตตภาวะปาริยปันนาสัพพะอิทิโยสัพเพปุริสาสัพเพอริยาสัพเพอนาคิยาสัพเพเทวาสัพเพมนุสสาสัพเพวินิพพานิกาอเวราโหตุอภัยปัจจาโหตุอานิฆาโหตุสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุทุกขามุจันตุยถาลัทธาสัมปติโตมาวิคัจฉันโตธัมมัสสตาปุระธิมายาทิสายาปัจฉิมายาทิสายาอุตตรายาทิสายาดากินายาทิสายาปุระธิมายานุทิสายาปัจฉิมายานุทิสายาอุตตรายานุทิสายาดากินายานุทิสายาเอติมายาทิสายาอุปริมายาทิสายา
Come to the point where
สัพเพ
we have cultivated that brightness both inside and out. Come to the point where we can try that second way of spreading the loving kindness. The second way to spread loving kindness is in ever-expanding geographic circles. And we allow the whole body to shine with the light of love, the light of peace, beauty, happiness and joy. Allow the whole body to emanate forth the light of loving kindness more and more, brighter and brighter, more and more, in front and behind us, to our right and our left, above and below. Allowing the whole body to shine, pervading the light of love, peace, happiness and joy into our hearts and our souls, all across the land. We allow the light to cover people, houses, buildings, villages, towns and cities, fields and forests, mountains and valleys, lakes, seas and oceans, from horizon to horizon, embracing the entire world, deep into the ground, allowing that light of loving kindness to pervade deeper and deeper, embracing all lives in the layers and layers of rocks and stones, soils and dust, no matter how insignificant they may seem, with the wish that may all living beings there be well and happy, may all be free from suffering. We continue to share this light of love, peace and happiness, beauty and joy, deeper into the water, deeper into the sea, deeper down into the oceans, allowing that light of loving kindness to perfuse the ocean waters, with the wish that all living beings may be well and happy, may be free of suffering. We share this light of love, peace and joy more and more, allowing the light to expand without limit, embracing all, nurturing all, healing all, forgiving all, more and more without end. And increasingly we allow the body to shine forth deeper and deeper into the sky, reaching out to the stars, planets, suns and moons, allowing the light to expand, covering the entire galaxy, the seas of stars, reaching out to the entire universe with the wish that may all living beings in the entire universe be well and happy, be free from all suffering. And we share this light of love, peace, happiness and joy to every living being in the universe with the wish, may there be peace among people, may there be peace amongst nations. May we witness lasting peace, love and care in all the hearts and souls, to bring peace to our planet within our own lifetimes. We allow the light of loving kindness to shine with an all-embracing light, more and more without end. And this loving kindness exercise is based on a very ancient practice, as is testified by an old Indian account of a hermit who used to retire to the seclusion of the forest for meditation. It was his habit to favor the practice of meditation on loving kindness on a regular basis, by day and by night. Whenever his mind was at ease, he would spread loving kindness, facing east with the intention that may all living beings in the direction in front of me in the eastern quarter, even the smallest creatures, whether 2-footed, 4-footed, with many legs or no legs at all, be pervaded by my loving kindness. May all living beings enjoy happiness and be free from all suffering. The next day he might spread loving kindness in the same way in the western quarter, the northern quarter, the southern quarter, upwards or below. He spread loving kindness in this way in all directions, consistently and regularly, until it became his habit. Whenever he slept in happiness, as if slipping into deep meditation. It would bring him joy the whole of the time, and he would have a dreamless sleep. If he ever dreamed, then it would be of auspicious things. On waking, he felt refreshed, free of sleepiness. He always had a very radiant complexion because of his practice. And even if there was danger in his midst, it would never harm him. He was loved and respected by people, celestial beings, and forest creatures alike. He was able to enter upon meditation easily and attain the absorptions quickly. His mind coming to a standstill swiftly because he was able to let go quickly of external events, bearing no anger or grudges toward anyone. His mind was bright at the center of his body, brighter than the sun at midday. As a result of his loving kindness, the forest became abundant with fruit. Even animals that were sworn enemies, like deer and tigers, that came into the vicinity of the forest, were able to coexist in harmony because their minds were pacified by the loving kindness they felt towards one another. These are some of the fruits of spreading loving kindness which appear even in the present lifetime. So having spread loving kindness in the two ways we have explored today, we condense our awareness back down to the center of our body again, taking careful note of the brightness, the clarity, feeling of peace and joy at the center of the body. In particular, taking mental note of the feeling of well-being at the center of our body. Remembering this feeling as well as we can, because this feeling of well-being is very important for us. It represents the state of progress in meditation that we've built up until now. If we can remember this feeling as well as we can, the next time we come to meditate again, we can start again from this feeling. Starting again from this feeling, we continue to make progress next time we come to meditate. So for the last few minutes of this meditation, we take a few moments to take note of the state of our own progress in meditation, remembering the feeling as well as we can for the last few moments in silence. Sappa Putthanupavena, Sappa Dhammanupavena, Sappa Sankhanupavena, Sattha Soti Bhavantu Te. So if you'd like to slowly come to the end of your meditation practice for this evening, you can gradually open your eyes again. If you feel at all uncomfortable, and slowly try changing to a more comfortable position before slowly finishing your practice. So today we have gathered for our first full moon day meditation with Woking as the center of the whole of Europe on this 21st of September 2021. Our moon tonight is the closest full moon we have to the autumn equinox, and it's the moment when the sun is directly above the Earth's equator, and the day and night are of equal length. Precise equinox is actually expected to be tomorrow, but the moon that we see in the sky tonight is known as the harvest moon, and this is because it's when the crops are gathered at the end of the summer season. And the moon appears particularly bright in the sky and rises quite early, allows the farmers to continue harvesting well into the night. And it's even sometimes called the barley moon, or the corn moon. And If horoscope casters are to be believed, then tonight's moon is also supposed to amplify our emotional sensitivity, our compassion and psychic abilities. Yes, indeed. So this could give way to sweet dreams on our behalf at night, and creative energy allowing us to put our logic on the back burner and tuning into our inner light, which what we've been doing today, and channeling that into any venture that is heart-fulfilling in our lives. So it's the turning of the seasons, and it's symbolic of new beginnings. So if you are interested to see the moon and you haven't done already, then apparently it's going to be brightest just after midnight tonight, if the skies are clear. But also today we have a second auspicious thing that aligns with this full moon today, which is the 21st of September, being also the International Day of Peace, which is established in 1981 by the United Nations, and it's really only 2 decades later that they designated this day as a day of non-violence and ceasefires. And the theme for this year is recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world. And as a day devoted to strengthening the ideals of peace through observing 24 hours of non-violence and ceasefire. So we'll see how that worked out, probably on tomorrow's news. But as we heal from the pandemic, the United Nations would like us all to think creatively and collectively about helping everyone to recover better, and how to build resilience and transform our world into one that's more equal, inclusive, sustainable, and healthier, especially because the pandemic is known for hitting the underprivileged and the marginalized groups the hardest. Many vaccine doses have already been administered globally, but there are more than 100 countries that have not received a single dose yet. And people caught in conflict are particularly vulnerable in terms of lack of access to health care. And the Secretary General of the United Nations also appealed for a global ceasefire. He's been doing that since last March, apparently. And they asked the member states to have a sustained humanitarian pause in local conflicts so that people can have access to life-saving treatments and vaccinations. Because the pandemic has been used as an excuse in many places for a surge in stigma and discrimination and hatred, which ends up costing more lives than just purely catching COVID. So, confronting the common enemy of humankind, we must be reminded that we are not each other's enemy, but we need to help each other in order to recover from the pandemic. So, this theme is to make peace with nature, peace with each other, and despite our shutdowns, climate change is not on pause, and we need a green and sustainable global economy to produce jobs, reduce emissions, and build resilience. So our little meditation event today aligns closely with the UN policy to celebrate peace by spreading compassion and kindness and hope in the face of the pandemic as we recover. But also today, in case any of you are wondering about design, which we were lighting up just now, apart from the few people who are lighting themselves up, this special squiggles are in fact in the old Khmer language, but they symbolize the 4 elements. So not like the periodic table, but earth, water, fire, and air. which are supposed to surround your center of your body in the old way of practicing our Dhammakaya meditation. And this symbol is attributed to the monk who you can see in the picture, the great abbot of Wat Pak Nam, who was the founder of our Dhammakaya meditation tradition. So to finish with today, I thought I would give a little bit of an account about what happened on that full moon day of September back in 1917. So 104 years ago, if you permit me to try to get this to work a little bit. So there's no sound, I'm the sound, okay. So this particular monk was in the 12th year of his monkhood, and he entered the rainy season. After 12 years of being a monk, he thought to himself, I still haven't attained enlightenment yet. And being a monk, that is what you're supposed to do. So he thought, I'm going to really get down to practice seriously. So he was at a particular temple called Wat Bodbon in Nonthaburi in Thailand, and he sat down to meditate. He'd studied many meditation techniques, but none of them had really brought him to a sense of fulfillment. Like in the scriptures you read about people getting enlightenment experiences, but in the reality, in the present day, it seemed to have gone missing somewhere. All that was left was the theory. So he took what he knew from all the things he could piece together from the existing traditions, and he meditated at the center of his body, as we've been doing tonight. He used the mantra Samma Arahang, and he experienced extreme pain. But he made a vow to himself that he wasn't going to move from his meditation position, despite the pain, until he could get through that. So it's like coming up against the wall if you're running a marathon or whatever. And before long, all the pain inside him disappeared, and what appeared in its place was a sphere of bright light inside of himself, about the size of a yolk of an egg. And this brought him a great deal of happiness and joy inside himself. And the strange thing was that, realizing that he had attained something, he got up from his meditation to have his lunch and other things which monks have to do. But the experience of his meditation still stayed with him. Even though he walked around, even as he was doing other things, he realized that this had become a part of him. But it was not yet everything that he wanted to attain. So after he had finished his various duties, that evening he sat down in the full moonlight of the September full moon, and he meditated further, again hoping very strongly that he would manage to attain something deeper still in his meditation. And yes, it didn't involve rifles, but that was another part of his life story. And he meditated at the center of the bright sphere. And what happened was that, as with our loving kindness meditation, the experience he had inside himself expanded outwards. Expanded not only to the whole of himself, but expanded to the size of the whole universe. And then what happened was that at the center of that inner sphere became something deeper. More inner spheres. Yeah, this is just sort of... it will catch up with me eventually. More inner spheres coming up one at a time, until eventually inside of himself he came across inner bodies of himself. Maybe you've heard things like the astral body. Well, that was the first one that he discovered inside of himself. Inside of the astral body, the more spheres, and then more layers of himself, until eventually he came to inner layers of himself that looked rather like bodies of enlightenment, or rather like the Buddha statue which you can see behind me. At which point he realized it wasn't just a inanimate Buddha statue, but it was a living Buddha statue inside himself, which could impart knowledge to him. So many inner bodies, many inner spheres, but inside all of that, this wisdom, which he could learn from, as if he had brought back from the myths of history that lost enlightenment experience, which he started to teach as the Dhammakaya meditation tradition. So this monk started to bring back and repopularize the practice of meditation. This is going back about 100 years. And it started to be practiced not just by monks, but by lay people. And meditation got back its sort of credibility again, because people start to have those same experiences that they were reading about in the scriptures. So this became like a revival of meditation within Thailand. Not only in Thailand, but the reputation of this abbot, oh, here we go with the inner spheres and expansion. Even his reputation spread around the world, and there were even individuals who went from England to Thailand, and the first foreigners to ordain in Thailand were from England, from the UK, and they were able to attain these experiences as well. So we hold this founder of our tradition in great reverence, and as a result of his teachings, especially the teachings about the space between the thoughts, or being able to have attainments when your mind or your thoughts come to a standstill. This is a very important teaching which we still think about a lot in the present day, making meditation success much easier and much more accessible even for beginners. So this is a little bit of the story behind the great abbot of Wat Phak Nam, which I would like to share with you today, because today, apart from being the full moon, apart from being the harvest moon and the equinox, and being the International Day of Peace, it's also the anniversary, the 104th anniversary of the rediscovery or the recovery of this meditation teaching, which we are still practicing today. So for today, I think that's probably all I want to say, except that I don't know if you enjoy having this sort of little ceremony part as part of the Tuesday meditation, or any meditations here. Does it liven it up slightly? Especially when people light themselves on fire. Yeah, sort of. Yes, I can't promise he'll do that every time. But apart from our weekly meditation sessions, which take place here on a Tuesday and a Thursday, if there is enough enthusiasm, then on full moon days in the future we will have a similar sort of little ceremony. Next time would be on the 21st of October, which actually works out as a Thursday. So we have a different theme each time to fit with the moon of that particular month, and we'll also do it online as well. Apart from the Tuesday and Thursday meditations, there is also an online meditation which may be of interest to anyone who's actually joining us via Zoom today. So every Saturday between 7 and 8 p.m. on British time, and between 8 and 9 on European time, there's a meditation led by a monk who speaks English. Half the time it's me, and half the time it's my colleague in the Netherlands, the Venerable Sander Kemadamo. So you might be able to join that if you're not able to get to a local branch of your temple on that particular day. And apart from that, even offline, I would like to also mention that there is an app which you can now download onto your phone for free, which gives you access to lots of audio tracks leading meditation in English for those of you who might like to meditate along, and to encourage you to meditate on a daily basis at home as well. So that is available for anyone who has not yet heard of that one yet. But at this point, I think I will turn back over to our MC for today, who will
สาธุเจ้าค่ะหลวงพี่
now host any comments, feedback, or questions which you might have at this time.
Question time เจ้าค่ะ So if anyone have any question to ask Long P Tibet about anything today or anything at all to ask? You're most welcome. Thank you, เจ้าค่ะหลวงพี่
So you like to participate in something more than just hearing a talk and meditating? Good. We will feel encouraged to do more with it. We might change the design each time.
Question เจ้าค่ะหลวงพี่
Yes.
Not really a question, but there was a mention of more of these full moon sessions. I'd love to attend. I'd be interested.
So, apart from Tuesdays and Thursdays, what sort of meditations are you interested in?
On full moon.
A full moon, yes. So, if you are happy with that, I know the abbot here said he's given us the green light in advance if people are interested. And next time will coincide with the end of Buddhist Lent. So we will see what themes we can muster up for that one. And the November one will involve floating candle rafts on the newly constructed pond. So we will find something to do with candles and participation that's different each time. Yes.
Thank you.
In fact, it's very well attended tonight compared with normal Tuesdays. Even normal Tuesdays are pretty well attended anyway. We thought lots of people would join us online, but it turns out that in person it's much more lively.
Today we have Judy here who she was coming for a normal Tuesday, and I said today it's kind of special than normal. But yeah, I think she did stay in today, and thank you, Judy. So yeah, so it's now is come to an end. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to Wendy and Lucy for today, and please everyone, if you would like to pay respect to our teaching monk by bowing 3 times. Bow. Bow. Bow.
So may all of you be blessed with happiness, prosperity, and fulfillment in life, especially on this full moon day. May the change of the seasons attract only great things into your life, rejuvenation and happiness and change for the better in your life, happiness and health in every way. And if you practice meditation further at home, may you continue to make progress in your meditation easily and now and forevermore.
Sadhu. If anyone would like to pay respect to the Lord Buddha by bowing 3 times. Bow. Bow. Bow.
ลองถามเขาดูถ้าเป็นไปได้ขอถ่ายรูปรวมกันถ้าได้นะ
Sadhu. Okay, of course, can. At the end of the ceremony, if anyone would like to join group photo, that would be great, but If you don't want to, that's fine. In front of this, but I'll dim the light down so everyone can see it better. So if anyone would like to take picture, so
background boom.